Welcome to another episode of the Break Life Daily Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And if this is your first time for tuning in, please take out time to listen to our previous episode. So for those that are supporting, thank you also. So let's get started. For today's episode, I'll be discussing on the topic importance of work on your mental wellness. As we all know, at different points in our lifetime, we all have to work, and work is a key factor in one's life. Work is one aspect of our life that affects every other areas of our lives. So for today's episode, I will be discussing about key features about work, the importance of work on your mental wellness, and how to balance work and your mental wellness. So stay excited as we explore the topic. So for today, discussing about work. Work is more beyond your job description. It is about impacting lives. It is about your passion. It's about what you love doing at all times. So for you, what's your work about? Is it what you really love doing, or is it just as a means of income for you? Nevertheless, you can still find way around it to make impact too at your present job. Just work speaks volume about what you use most of your time for. It could either be a service, or it could be production and distribution of goods and services. So what's your work about? Discussing about key features about work. The first one on my list is work is an avenue for value creation. As I said earlier, your work is more than a job. It is more than just getting an income. It is an avenue for you to create value and make impact. To create value at work means to provide something of significance that can contribute to the society. Whatever your job description is, you can create value. Are you a singer, a gospel artist? Your song inspires others, or are you a police officer? Ensuring peace and stability in the society is a way of creating value. Or you're a psychologist like me, conducting psychotherapy to others to help them out of their mental instability is a way of creating value to others. Or you are into the arts and culture sector, preserving the heritage of your society. It's also a way of creating value to the society. So whatever your job is, there is always a value to create. So beyond your job description, ensure that you create value to others, because for every job there is always a value to create. So you have to find it and be willing to create that value to others. Another key features about work is that work gives you the ability to be creative. Work is an avenue to develop yourself and tap into your hidden potentials. It is also an avenue to show forth your skills. It could be your intellectual skills or your physical skills. Part of showing forth your skills requires you to be creative. Even in this world where technology is taking over, being creative also to be good at what you do and to be current in your trends of work. Part of ways you can be creative at work is to optimize your problem-solving skills, and also to embrace change and question the status quo. Look at Steve Jobs, for example. He was tired of the type of computer and the technology that was in use then, and he formed something and created a new form of technology. So your job should not just be about the old trends, roll with the new trends also. Importance about work is that work influences the way we experience life. It serves as a mirror in which we observe life. For example, those in the health sectors, they will recognize that health is wealth. And those in the film industry, they see the beauty in other people's stories and create a story for us to see. So they see the beauty in people's story. Those in the art and culture, they see the beauty in art and culture and part of this, and they can use this to experience life and so on. So take our time to view people's story through their work, and through this you will see that there's beauty in life. Another importance about work which we don't pay attention to is that work shapes your self-esteem. It shapes the way you view your abilities and your overall worth. This could have both positive implications and negative implications, because if you don't set a balance in how this influences you, you might switch to a negative path. Work also shapes people's self-identity, as people place their work as who they are, and the implication of this is that without the job there or the work there, they would not recognize who they are. Hence, the need to differentiate between work identity and self-identity. How then can we balance work and achieve a mental wellness? The first one is change your perception about work. Your perception about things goes a long way in influencing how you take or react in regards with that thing. Your thoughts about work speaks about how you take work. If you constantly have positive thoughts about your work, it will influence how you see your work. And if you have negative thoughts about your work, it also influences how you see your work. One of the biggest wrong perceptions people have about work is that they use the success of their work to judge the success of their life, which is a wrong perception. Your work and your life is a different phenomenon. So working towards achieving success at work should be different from working towards achieving success in your life. Hence the need to prioritize every areas of our life just as you would your work. Another wrong perception that people have about work is that work is just about money making, and work is not just about money making. Work goes beyond money making. It is rather should be an avenue for value creation. Seeing work as an avenue to make money alone makes men to run a rat race and just to make money, and that is why some people would do a cracky and corny business that will endanger the lives of others, just as some people would choose to sell fake or expired pharmaceutical drugs to others while knowing the implications to others. So work should not just be about money making, it should rather be about value making, because when you make money, work as just for money making, you do things that are not, or that you ought not to do, and you would also not want to take break when you ought to take break, because you would say, I want to make more money, and this in effect affects your mental wellness. Another way for you to balance work and your mental wellness is to ensure you maintain a work-life balance. And for you to maintain a work-life balance, you must know that work and your life is a different entity, and they should be taken as different entity. Just as the way you will take your life serious, you should also take your work serious, and just as you take your work serious, take your life serious, vice versa. You would see some people go the extra mile in doing a work presentation or completing a deadline at work, but they would not take that extra effort in reading a book that will profit their life or taking out time with their family. You must also learn to set workable boundaries between your work and your life. Know when to take a break to focus on your life while working. And the goal is to achieve balance on both ends. For different people, work-life balance means different things. For some people, it's just taking out time for their self to replenish their strength while at work. And for some, it is creating out time for other areas of our life. So for you, you just have to find out, how can I maintain a work-life balance and achieving balance in both areas. And you must also remember that a work-life balance leads to increased productivity, and this is a win-win for both the work aspect and the life aspect. So think wisely and ensure you manage yourself well. The third point I'll be discussing about is on stress management. Life is a roller coaster of emotions and stress on a daily basis, some of which are from positive situations or negative situations. So it is our duty to know how to manage them, because the inability to manage them leads to mental stress. There are several ways to manage stress, but basically there are two major classifications. We have the emotion focus based way, and we have the solution focused coping ways. For the emotion focused based one, you have to know how to manage emotions that come from a situations, and from solution focused, you have to know how to deal with the root cause of the situation. Let me give you a scenario. For example, maybe you're at work and you're having a bad day because your boss has spoken something bad to you about a presentation you did that was wrong. This made you feel bad. So how do you address it using these two major classifications? The first one, using the emotion focus based solution, you can just take a time to think about it. You can do what we call reshaping your thought about the situation. Instead of looking at it that, oh, my boss hates me, that's why he spoke to me that way, you can rather see it that, oh, my boss spoke to me that way because he or she wants the best for me and they want me to improve in my work. And also for the solution focus based way, you can rather say, oh, I didn't do it well, how can I do it better? Then you have to start learning new skills and on how to do it better. Then that's sorted out. You have a less stressful day for that day. Practicing meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing are also ways to relieve yourself of stress on a daily basis. And also you should learn to prioritize giving yourself a treat, maybe weekly, monthly, but ensure you give yourself a treat. And some would even recommend staying longer at the bedroom or watching nature. It goes a long way in relieving yourself of stress. And above all, make it a priority for you to relieve yourself of stress on a daily basis, because accumulated stress affects your mental wellness. And also at the end of the day, you should also take out time to think about the day. You should reminisce on what you have done better, things you did well, and how you can make progress in regards with every areas of your life. So, and lastly, know that stress is important. Sometimes we have good stress and sometimes we have bad stress. It's the way we take it that matters most. So learn to take your stresses well and know how to manage them well.